Hello, this is Sandy back with video 3 of the tutorial for the Aloha photo album that I designed for Country Craft Creations using PhotoPlay's Aloha paper collection. Before we get started on the pages, decorating the pages, let's cut our inside covers. We need 2 at 10 3/4 inch by 10 3/4 inch out of the pattern cardstock that you choose. And I want you to set those aside. I've already pre-cut mine, and I'm going to set those aside with my wrapped covers so that I won't use this paper later on. So I want to make sure that I have these two ready to go. For page 1, you need to cut 1 pattern paper at just under 10 3/8 by just under 10 3/8 to pattern the main section of the page. And you're also going to need 1 7 3/8 inch wide by 9 1/2 inches tall, and another one that's 1 7/8 inches wide by 9 3/4 inches tall. These are for the mats, the flaps, and you'll need 2 scraps that are 1 inch by 6 inch and 2 cut aparts, plus a scrap that's 7 3/8 inches wide by 1 5/8 inches tall to pattern this page. There may be a correction. You may need 2 of the 7 3/8 and the 2 of the 7 7/8 inch wide for these flaps. So let's get started at patterning this. As you can see, I'm showing you that you do need the 2 scraps that are 1 inches by 6 inches and the 2 cut aparts to finish this page. I have pre-cut all my pattern papers for page 1 and selected 2 cut aparts. And I'm taking the 2 little scraps that are 1 inch wide and my scoreboard, and you need to score those in half at a 1/2 inch. You put the 1 inch side in at the top and then score them at a 1/2 inch. So I'll do that to both of them. These will make hinges to attach to the cut aparts that will make flaps out of those for page 1. So do that to both of your scraps, your 1 inch wide scraps. And these should have been cut the length of your cut aparts. I have the Aloha and the Hawaii laying there, so I'm going to take the Hawaii one and I'm just folding the hinge, folding the score line of this little scrap of paper, and you want to make sure you're attaching it to the top edge of your cut apart. And I'm going to use glue, and I'm attaching just 1/2 inch side. I'm double checking to make sure I have the top, and so I'm attaching the fold line to the top edge of my cut apart. And then I'm going to burnish that, and if it sticks out over a little bit like mine did, just trim that off. And so we have a flap made out of a cut apart. And we'll go ahead and do that to the second one. We'll do it to the Aloha one in the exact same manner. Lift up your flaps on page 1 and go ahead and attach the pattern paper that you chose to cover the main section of the page. So I'm again using the Art Glitter Dries Clear Designer Glue that you can order from countrycraftcreations.com. When you order the 4-ounce bottle, you do get the little metal tip that comes with it that helps you to control how much glue you're putting down. So this is a good size piece of paper, so you want to do your edges and then real quickly do squiggly lines of glue on the inside section of the page, and go ahead and get that down before the glue starts drying. So I'm going to turn this over real quick and attach this down and burnish it really well to make sure that it stays. Now we're ready to pattern the flaps, the front and inside of both flaps. So earlier I told you just cut 1 of each size, but then I corrected it and said you cut 2. So you do need 2 pieces of pattern paper for the front and the inside of each flap. So measure those and cut those out, and I'm going to use the water wave pattern on this bottom flap of mine. So I'm using the glue real quickly, and I'm going to attach that. So I'm going to go ahead and pattern these, and make sure you take off the score tape backing where you're holding down your magnets, keeping them secure. So I'm going to line this up and attach it down and burn it again, burnish with my hands, a dry wipe, and a bone folder or a spatula. You can use a spatula, whatever you like to use that's flat, to burnish down the pattern paper to make sure that all your glue is spread out and you don't have any lines or bubbles. So for this first one, I'm using a alternating piece of paper at the bottom, and then I'm going to use the other piece at the top. Now I actually made this into a pocket. I don't really use it that much, but it's available if the recipient wants to put something in there, like maybe their some ticket stubs or some postcards or things like that. So this is where the flip ups of the cut aparts are going to go, and put Aloha at the top. I think I'm just deciding, do I want them at an angle or straight? I really think they probably look better straight, so I'm going to go ahead and pattern all this. I'm going to speed up the video. The flaps you will attach on the little 1/2-inch hinges using glue. You will attach those down so that they lift up, and then I will add small magnet snaps as closures for those flaps, and then I will be covering those magnets with photo mats. Out of white cardstock, we're going to cut photo mats for page 1. You need 2 5 7/8 by 3 3/4, 1 3 by 3, 6 4 1/2 by 6 1/2, and 1 for a journaling box that is 3 inches by 5 3/4. I've already pre-cut mine, and I'm taking my photo corner punch, and I'm going to punch the corners on the photo mats. The journaling box, I will not punch those corners. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm setting the journaling piece aside, and I'm going to go ahead and punch all the corners on my photo mats. I have all my photo mats ready, and I'm going to put them into underneath the flaps and on the flaps of the page and the main page on page 1. So the first one, the little square one, is going to go over the magnets. You'll see where I've added magnets to close these cut apart flaps, and just put a little glue in each corner of your mat, a little bit along the sides, and some in the middle. You don't want to put glue where the photos are going to slip into those slots. So this one's going to go at the top here, and the other magnet for this top flap, I'm going to add the journaling box. So I'm taking it, I've rounded the corners, the 2 bottom corners, with the 1/4-inch corner rounder, and then I'm going to use my ruler and a black fine tip pen to draw some lines that are about a 1/4-inch apart for a journaling box. Now this is the only journaling box that I added into this album. You may want more, and that's fine. I don't journal a lot. I don't know if the recipient of this album will, so I'm just going to put one so that she can put the date and details of the trip And then if she wants to add more, she certainly can. So I'm just going to draw these lines, and then I'm going to glue this one underneath the top Aloha flap over the little magnet. Then you will go ahead and put the rest of your photo mats into your page 1. I put some on each of the flaps, the main offset flaps, and on the main page. We need more photo mats for page 2. So out of the white cardstock, I cut 14 at 6 3/8 by 4 3/8 because we will be adding photo mats to the fold out photo flaps that I created for that page. So go ahead and cut your 14 out of white cardstock, 6 3/8 inches by 4 3/8 inches, and then go ahead and punch the corners. Take your page set, and on page 2 I added the Hello Bliss cut apart on the front with some white matting, and then on the rest of the flaps, the fold outs, you attach one of these photo mats. So go ahead and finish punching those out with your photo corner punch, and then attach them to each fold out flap on the front and the back as they fold out. When adding the photo mats to the fold outs, make sure that you do add a magnet to each one where you want them to attach down. So that would probably be on the base one underneath, and then the top one could also have a magnet. You can try these out and see which one holds best for you. So I've added photo mats, and I'm showing you here how I added them in. You put a little glue to each corner along the edges, and then a bit of glue in the middle. Don't put glue where the photos are going to go into the slots if you're using this type of corner punch, photo corner punch. So this one I'm going to put down on the inside of the top flap. So my magnets are on the main page, covered by a photo mat, and then on the top or back side of the top flap to hold these down. So just go ahead and put your magnets on, and then add your photo mats to cover those up. And then I added some stickers to decorate the page. You can see those along the side of the fold outs on both the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish adding these photo mats to these two photo flap fold outs. On page 3, we've already attached our pattern papers and our photo flaps onto the pocket. We also have a pocket here, so we're ready to go ahead and decorate a pattern and decorate the flaps, and then decide what we're going to put inside the pocket. So here are the flaps, the way they are arranged onto the pocket. They're offset, and I'm going to put photo mats, except for on the front one I think I'm going to put a patterned photo mat. So you want to go ahead and cut your pattern papers to, or your photo mats to fit these. Just go ahead and measure those and then mat each flap, and except for the first one, the very front, I'm going to put a patterned mat, but I am going to punch the photo corners so that a photo could be added there. I'm attaching the pink floral pattern paper to the front flap of this page, of page 3, and now I'm going to cut just a small belly band out of the pineapple side of the paper, and so I'm going to be gluing that to the left and right side only and leaving it open in the middle for a belly band. So I'm going to put that way, but I think I'm still going to punch the corners so that it can be a photo mat if necessary. For page 3, you will want to cut 6 each 6 3/8 by 4 3/8 white cardstock for photo mats, and one patterned one at 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. I'm using the pink, and then also one that's 4 3/8 wide out of a scrap that's about 1.5 inches tall for the belly band. So then once you cut these, your photo mats, go ahead and punch the corners with a photo corner punch, and go ahead and do that, and then you will glue these down to each of the flaps with the pattern going on the front. Also remember to add a magnet. You will want to add one to the pocket side and then to the back of the front flap. I decided to mat the belly band pattern paper piece onto some of the blue cardstock to make it stand out. So I'm just cutting a piece to fit around it, and then I'm going to glue the pattern paper down onto the blue cardstock and then glue just the ends onto the top of the pink photo mat here on this flip. And now I'm going to go ahead and mat the rest of the photo mats down onto each of the flaps on this page. Next, I glued 3 of the smaller cut aparts on the right side of the page. Then I have the photo mats all on the flaps. I've added an Aloha sticker from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. I put it along at the top of the pocket above the fold outs. And now we're ready to create an insert that goes inside the pocket. Cut one piece of blue cardstock 12 inches by 10 inches and score the 12-inch side at 6 inches and then fold it in half to create a booklet to insert into the pocket of page 3. So here I'm just scoring it in half on the 12-inch side at 6 inches. You're going to fold and burnish it. And it will tuck inside of the pocket. And it will go in either direction, so you can put the fold out or the fold into the pocket, whichever you choose. And then on the front side, I'm going to add some pattern paper, and I'm going to use scraps that I'm going to cut down to fit to cover the entire front side, and then the rest I'm going to leave blank. I think I might put some photo mats on the inside though. I've glued these scraps of paper onto my insert booklet into stripes. So I used different patterns of paper and created a striped insert. So this is the last piece that I'm gluing on to the front of it. Measure and cut white cardstock for photo mats and whatever size you would like inside your insert booklet for your photos. These are square ones, and then I'm going to go ahead and corner punch the corner punch the corners and glue these into the booklet. Next, I'm adding a few stickers from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet that comes with the Aloha collection from Photoplay. I'm just going to arrange some here with some flip-flops and some here at the top and then some in the space on the left. You could also put smaller photo mats if you wanted to make have extra photo mats there inside this booklet, but I'm just going to add the 2, one on each side, and then add the stickers. So this concludes video 3 of the tutorial for the Aloha photo album that I designed for Country Craft Creations using the Photoplay Aloha paper collection. So check back in a few days for video 4 We will finish up hopefully soon the pages, decorating the pages, and then I will show you how to put the cover onto the pages to finish your album. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.